Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. A United Nations official says the death toll from the devastating 7.8 magnitude earthquake in Turkey and Syria is likely to rise as teams scramble to remove rubble in hard-hit areas. The death toll has topped 42,000. More than a week under the rubble, rescuers have pulled a teenage girl in Turkey in the latest rescue operation. NATO head Jens Stoltenberg is in Turkey to offer support from the Western Military Alliance.
The day after the earthquake, NATO's Disaster Response Center issued an immediate request for assistance to all NATO allies and partners. Since then, thousands of emergency response personnel have been deployed to Turkey to support the relief efforts, including with search and rescue teams, firefighters, medical personnel, and seismic experts.
The UN has reported a death toll of 6,000 for all of Syria. That figure's higher than those reported by the government. In Damascus, the damage in both countries is estimated to be $25 billion. U.S. General Mark Milley, chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said neither Russia or Ukraine are likely to achieve their wartime objectives, and the war will likely end through negotiations. His comments come as Israel's foreign minister is in Kiev with a proposal for a UN peace negotiation. Meanwhile, Russia continues to ramp up its offensive in Ukraine on several fronts as the one-year anniversary nears. FSN's William Denislow reports.
According to Ukraine's Air Force, Russia fired 32 missiles overnight. 16 of them were shot down. It's believed that critical infrastructure was hit in a number of Ukraine's regions. And here in the capital, Kyiv, well, its air defense system was operational on Wednesday on reports that there were 6 Russian spy balloons in its airspace. It's believed that their mission was to detect and exhaust Ukraine's air defense systems. Now, while there's plenty of action overhead, fierce fighting continues on the ground in the east of the country. President Volodymyr Zelensky says the situation in the city of Bakhmut is difficult, with its forces still holding on. He likened the city to being a living fortress. William Denslow, Kyiv.
In the U.S., hundreds of residents of the Ohio village upended by a freight train derailment with toxic chemicals packed a school gym last night to seek answers about why they're safe from the toxic chemicals that spewed or were burned off. Testing so far has shown local air is safe to breathe, but there are still concerns about the huge plumes of smoke, persisting odors, and reports of contaminated water in the area. Catherine Carley reports.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine says Congress must examine the February 3rd train derailment in East Palestine. He says Norfolk Southern Railroad was not required to notify the state that the train carried hazardous materials because they were not carried in every rail car.
Frankly, if this is true, and I'm told it's true, this is absurd.
Residents near the Ohio-Pennsylvania border were forced to evacuate their homes for several days and are still encouraged to drink from bottled water. I'm Catherine Carley for Pacifica Network and Public News Service.
Some residents are refusing to return after fleeing the area. Nadia Ramlagan has more.
They're experiencing skin rashes, nausea, burning eyes, and other symptoms after a Norfolk Southern train derailed there 2 weeks ago, spewing toxic chemicals. Jamie Kosa says she isn't taking her 3-year-old daughter Kyla back home because she doesn't feel it's safe to breathe the air or drink the water.
It was a chemical smell, almost like a paint thinner, and it had even gotten into my clothes that were in the dryer. Your nose would burn, your mouth, your eyes. You could just feel it in the air when you're breathing in, like in your chest. And that's the smell that's still in the creek.
This is Nadia Ramlagan for Ohio News Connection.
Another mass shooting in the U.S. In El Paso, Texas. Officials say 2 gunmen killed 1 person and hospitalized 3 others in a shooting at a shopping mall. El Paso police said hours after the shooting, 2 people were taken into custody. It took place next to the Walmart, where a racist gunman shot and killed 23 people, targeting Latinos in 2019. Police have given no motive to the shooting last night. The Gun Violence Archive reports 72 mass shootings in the U.S. this year. That's more than 2 each day. Democratic lawmakers are blasting potential Republican budget cuts, including deep cuts to non-military spending. The budget debate is heating up as the country faces a looming threat of a fiscal crisis later this year. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says the U.S. is risking a default by summer. Christopher Martinez has more.
Senate Democrats unveiled a report by the Senate Democratic Policy and Communications Committee on how potential cuts would hurt Americans. Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow of Michigan says right now the U.S. is seeing the most robust economic turnaround in a generation, with wages up, 12 million new jobs, and unemployment as low as it's been in 50 years.
So, what does the Republican Party want to do? What does the House Republican plan do? Destroy the economy. Destroy the economy that is now coming back. The first bill they passed when they took control was to protect wealthy tax cheats. They like to say they're worried about the deficit. 25% was created during the Trump years of all the deficit ever in the country, by the way.
She says if Republicans hold true to their promise not to cut the military budget, that would mean a 30% cut to domestic programs, ranging from health care and education to road repairs, police, and infant formula for 1 million babies. Reporting for Pacifica Radio News KPFA, I'm Christopher Martinez.
I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.